Hi, this is Dr. Agnes Cabredo for another lesson on good English. It is felt by almost everybody that one of the most troublesome areas for the learners as well as the professionals is the problem of subject-verb agreement. Now, how do we solve that? I think the best way to approach the problem is to deal with the rules. Let's go back to the rules. Okay? Number 1 rule covers intervening expression. What is intervening expression? These are the words which one finds in the middle of a sentence bounded by commas. So, the boss as well as the managers were here. What will you consider as a subject? What will you consider as the actor of a sentence? What will you consider as the principal person talked about? The boss, as well as the managers. Do you include the managers like it is 1 plus 1? No. The intervening expression is merely there for additional information. It should not affect your verb. So your subject is 1, the boss. Therefore, your verb should be singular. Was here. The boss was here. But this intervening expression gives us additional information, but should not affect our verb. Especially tempting is the noun at the end. We might think that this is the noun to which this verb has to agree, and therefore you will most likely take the plural verb. Plural noun, plural verb. But that's not the case. You will have to consider the main person talked about, and this is the boss. Therefore, was here. So what did we do? Ignore. Cross it out as if they never existed. Mentally cross it out. Then that solves your problem. Next, the client, together with my friends, are disappointed. Again, the intervening expression found in the middle, bounded by commas, should be mentally crossed out. Therefore, your main concern now is the person called client. How many? 1, because this is client, not clients. Client, therefore, you will have a singular verb, is disappointed. Yes? So there are other expressions like including and many others. Suppose we say the client, including the assistants. The assistant were the guests. Okay? So, the client, including the assistant, mentally cross it out. You only consider the subject. Since this is singular, then we have again was. But the clients, for instance, we make it clients, including the assistant, this will become now were the guests. Okay, let's move on to the next. Therefore, we have to consider also fractions and portions. 1 or 2/3 of the articles are satisfactory. 2/3 is the fraction of the articles is the of phrase. Look at the noun at the end of the of phrase. This will determine your verb. Since this is plural, take a plural verb. Look at the of phrase. So 2/3 of the articles are satisfactory. Let's take the next. Look at the of phrase. Look at the noun at the end of the of phrase. Contract is singular. Therefore, you have to use was. Look at the of phrase. Look at the noun at the end of the of phrase. And this is plural because with an S. Now, when your noun has an S, it takes a verb without S. Therefore, employees agree. A minimum, so a portion, a minimum of work. Of phrase, look at the object or the noun at the end of the of phrase. Work, therefore it's plural. Singular. So we have is required to receive approval. Part of the proposal. Look at the of phrase. Look at the noun at the end of the of phrase. Proposal is singular, and therefore you take a singular verb. Part of the delegates. Okay? Look at the of phrase. Look at the object or the noun at the end of the of phrase. That will determine your verb. So delegates are. Okay, so far we have discussed 2 rules. One is the rule on intervening expression. As I've said, the intervening expression should not affect your verb. So, cross it out mentally. Ignore it. Then consider the subject. What is the subject? It is usually preceded by the. This is a noun determiner. When the word is preceded by the, you know that the next word is a noun. Okay? The second rule again is on fractions and portions. When we have fractions, look at the of phrase and look at the noun at the end of the of phrase. That will determine your verb. The noun at the end of the of phrase will determine the verb. The noun at the end of the of phrase will determine the verb. And the noun at the end of the of phrase will determine your verb. Okay. Let's continue with 2 other rules on subject-verb agreement. So we proceed with number 3 with regard to quantities and measures. Quantities. So we have $50 is our more than I can afford. You take this as 1. Therefore, it will require a singular verb. So $50 is more than I can afford. $2 million was where my winnings in Lotto. Again, you take 2 million as 1 total quantity. Therefore, you have was my winnings in Lotto. How about 12 days are required to repair your car? Now here, the days are taken individually. They are taken as individual units, and therefore this will require a plural verb. 12 days are required to repair your car. Now 3 months is your probation period. This refers to the entire 3 months taken as one, and which constitutes the probation period. Therefore, 3 months is your probation period. 3 kilometers are the distance between my hotel and the commercial bank. We think of measures. So again, this is taken as one. So 3 kilometers is the distance between my hotel and the commercial bank. It is again taken as one. Just like when we say 12 hours are a long sleep. Next, 10 tons are the capacity of the bridge. Again, taken as one. 10 tons. 10 tons is the capacity of the bridge. What makes you doubt is the number 10. It's so many. So you take it as one. When you think of measure, when you think of quantity, 2 million. These are all singular. Now the next, the distinction between the number and a number. Very often we say, the police. The police is very specific. The child is very specific. But when you say, a policeman, a police, it's not specific. When we say a child is not, well, a child is only one. But when we say a people, is not specific. When we say a population, is not specific. But when we say the population, we are referring to a specific number. And when we are referring to the specific number, we use the preceding the word number. This will require a singular verb. So the number of medical specialists, although we have here specialists, the number requires a singular verb. But when we have a number of email messages, a number, it's not specific. It's indefinite. So we have a number of email messages are lost. If you tune in to our channel, you can avail of tests in the subsequent lecture. So for now, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share our channel. In addition, please feel free to give us some